I said he was in his 70s. He's actually 87 years old. So welcome back to another video. We are over today on the rolling road and we are over at Bog Brothers having the little Talbot Samba Group B set up on the dyno before the beginning of the year to get to these rally events. The reason why I love Bog Brothers is the guy who does the tuning is called Dave, and he must be 70s, he must be, and he is a wealth of knowledge to the point of he, just by ear, sound, noise, smell, he's the old school tuner of carbs. So I'm really looking forward to today, just to listen to some of the stories, learn some bits, and kind of just absorb some many years of carburetor tuning. So let's dive in and let's have a look at the car and the dyno and let's get the day cracking.
Yeah, that wants to go on there like that, and the other one wants to be...
I think, like I say, they just bolt them together, don't you? Send it out the door and leave it to someone else's problem.
Leave it to you.
Can I be nosy and ask what we've done? Is it what?
Oh, you see, right, that's your master carburetor, that one.
Yes.
You set your idle and then you balance this so it matches that.
Oh, right, okay.
But we shall have to do...
So the screw was on the wrong carburetor?
Yes.
Right, okay.
And we shall have to just bend that back, because this isn't... Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll sort it.
So shouldn't you need the choke to start these?
Shouldn't do. Give it 2 or 3 pumps and away it should go.
Oh, right, okay.
Accelerator pump jet
Okay.
into the engine, so that, you know, then it should start, in theory.
So the choke's in essence just to add a little bit more fuel in?
Well, now that all it, yeah, it's basically for road cars, really.
Right, okay.
You know, because Talbot Sambas were a road car initially, weren't they?
Yes.
They had very obscure emulsion tubes, if I remember rightly. They used to rev like hell in them days.
Did they?
Right, ignition system is time in March, should be. Well, that one seems fine. So that's shut in there, that's clicking shut, so it should not rev at all. So why is it revving? We better take the other one off now.
So what we're on with now is we're trying to balance the 4 carbs together so they all kind of match each other on kind of airflow. That's why he's putting that gauge in there to adjust the idle, adjust some other bits and pieces. To be fair, I don't really know much about carbs. I'm more of an electronic fuel injection man. But what we found is 2 of the butterflies are slightly, you can see light through, which is causing the idle to stick. So we're on with sorting that. But to go back to Dave and how much of a legend he is, I said he was in his 70s. He's actually 87 years old and he's been tuning carbs and cars since he was 22. So that there is nearly, what, 66 years of tuning carburetors on cars. This is why I say Dave at Bog Brothers is the man for carburetors. So let's get back in there and fingers crossed we'll be able to sort this balancing issue and we can get it back on the rolling road and we can get it all set up. So is the motor just going up now in jets till you get to the perfect?
Well, it's bloody miles out, this thing. Put different emulsion tubes in, different bloody mains in.
So is it just trial and error? Go a bit bigger and keep working the way up? Obviously you watch the AFR on there.
You just watch flows. You know,
right.
With this issue, just going lean as buggery.
Am I right in thinking they're the main jets?
They're the main. Well, what you've got here, you've got your mains,
yes,
your emulsion tubes and your air correctors.
All right.
And these are your idle set. Well, there's no there's no mixture and idle. She's dead.
When I heard it, yes, when we rev it.
You know, it doesn't. It should really go up to 2,000 revs on these.
So having messed with the throttle flaps, because there was two of them were slightly open, you could see air through, light through, and it was idling it for us. I think we sorted them. We're now onto the jetting and the carbs. So basically, I don't know if the video will show it, you can see we take the top of the carburetor off and you can see all the jets in there. So Dave's now just going through, adjusting the sizes to get it so it runs perfectly and the air fuel ratios are bang on.
That's it, we're in again.
We're in. There's your box.
That's him. See if we're any better this time, right. We should just switch off and reset everything off.
You ready?
Yeah. About 5,000 revs.
And do 40s make that much of a difference, a low down?
Oh, hell aye.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Well, you see, you've got a 45 mil, but you've got 30, 36, 38 mil bloody chokes in.
Right, okay.
So, you know, you've got that diameter air, so when you put your foot on and cam, see, I don't think the distributor matches the cam.
Right.
It doesn't, how can I put it? When you're checking the timing, it doesn't bloody come up with revs engine.
Right, I see.
You know, what you want sending to H&H Ignition Solutions.
Yes.
And telling them what cam, and it wants about 20 degrees of advance at 1800 revs, so by the time you get to like 3000, she's giving 30.
Yeah.
But you see, to make it do that, I can advance her a little bit more, as long as it doesn't advance it too much at top end, you see.
I see, yeah. So do you think that's where it needs to be now then, for what setup we've got?
We can give her a little bit more advance, because I should have asked, have you got his telephone number? Ask him what his optimum is.
I can find out for you right now.
Yeah, just ask him what he wants the ignition time is set into.
Okay, hold on. So we've been messing around with the jets. We've literally started to load it up on the dyno. We're at the point where I think it's near enough done. We're just going to check the ignition timing, as you probably will have heard. So we're around 130 horsepower at the wheels with this on the dyno. If you look at the dyno needle, it says around 100 kilowatts. Convert it, 1.3 horsepower to 1 kilowatt. Fingers crossed, we're going to play with the timing a little bit. I think that's where we need to be and what power we're looking at. So let's just double check this in timing and we'll see how this ends up for the rest of the day. Feels a lot more spirited, that, doesn't it? A lot more spirited.
Let you tipple that bloody...
Yeah, the throttle. Yeah, I know. I'll fix that between now and the event. So that's us now calling it a day. We're done and dusted. Kind of successful, but not. So what we're having a spindle bent issue. So what's happening is one of the spindles, in fact both the spindles in each of the carbs are slightly bent. So that's basically causing, I think it was cylinder 1 and cylinder 4, the throttles are very, very slightly open. We're talking minuscule, but it's causing an idling issue. So So what we're finding is the idling sticking. So we can't get it to idle perfect, but it sits around 1500, and then once we get the spindle sorted out, excuse me, it will run perfectly and it'll idle perfectly. So final results was I think 31, 32 degrees of timing, and we saw around 130 horsepower at the wheels, which for a little 1400 I think is absolutely fantastic. Sorry, 1300. It is a 1285. So to make that kind of horsepower on such a small engine from the early 80s is a massive number. The car's now set up. There's a couple of jobs left to do before the rally. So fingers crossed we'll get them done and we'll be out rallying for the rest of the year. I'll sign this one off. It's been a bit of an adventure, and what can I say? I hope you all agree, Mr. Dave Bogg is the main man at 87 years old, still tuning cars. I hope to God I'm still doing this thing at that age, because he's a living legend. So we'll sign it off, and I'll see everyone on the next video.